Welcome back, everyone. 皆さん、おかえりなさい。今日は212日目です。Is 200 day 212? Has it already been 12 days since our Anyways. We are 3 days out from level 21. It felt like yesterday that I finished the 200-day review. Anyways, let's get right into it, shall we? 6 o'clock. Oh, we're not gonna reach 6 o'clock. It is 2:30 p.m. local time. Okay.
在外
在外
混ぜる
混ぜる
経験
経験hold YOLO? Okay. This can't be a bird. No, I don't think so. Oh, wait. I'm drawing a space on the right, so we're just gonna move and see if I can get any other. Does that help? It's definitely group. Drawing a blank. Let's give it a feel, shall we? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to move them. Think about it later.
予防
Whoa. What? Oh.
一夫多妻
Ippu tasai. Bessatsu. Oh, wait. That might help. Wait. Oh, that almost helped. Oh, hold up. Oh, it's so close. This is a drama trope. It's tone, right? It's tone and dan, right? So
劇団
you don't. Oops, I missed the E. Okay. I wonder how that radical works. I don't remember. Is that supposed to be pool? Or measure? Okay. Anyways, to solve. Boy, this group kinda suck. I'm sucking it up pretty bad. So alright. We'll worry about that later.
3個
Uncle.
節句
It could. Uh.
Yoyu
You. Kind of similar.
徳
Could.
シャツ
That's it.
財閥
That's it. Nope. Right, okay. Oh,
かぶる
Kaburu. What? Oh, actually, I was thinking of two separate things. That's why it took me so long. Uh,
困る
Amaru. Okay.
指圧
Yatsu. Oops.
経由
You. That one is gonna take some time.
危機
歴史
Rekishi.
確かに
Ashkani.
負債
Right.
公害
Ogai.
用意
Yoi. Oops. Oh. We changed the main reading to kunyomi recently? Oh, interesting. Okay, that's fine. That's a burn. But they changed it to kunyomi first. Kind of flows with what I think. That's fine. We know both reads. Oh boy. I guess this is like take along, right?
釣れる
Tsureru. Oh, what? Wait. What happened? Oh, that's not it. It doesn't take a unyo. There's a kun for this. How does the... Does it? Oh, yeah. Okay. I feel like this one is gonna be rough. I need something for this one. Oh, no, wait. Hold? And it's gone. Alright.
資材
He's oh. Oops. Okay. Maybe it stays the same. Let me think. I can't think of anything. Oh no, it is something. Guilt. Oh,
罪
Jimmy. Then
電子機器
Enchikiki. Okay.
悪夢
Akumu.
震度
Indo.
木
I. Wait. Oh. Why do I want to write? Okay, that's just kid. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're gonna move this. Nothing straight comes to mind at the moment. Oh, we got some problems right now. Oh.
毛布
説得
Toku. ね? Acquire theory? Let's see. 彼女は what the huh? ね? With what is that? Op director. Oh. Okay. 得するためにブレザのブレザのいや上司that doesn't help too much. Fire could be like results. Acquire theory. You're doing something to the boss. Oh, you're convincing. Persuasion. Okay.
Konnan.
Oh no. Hello there, Bree. Doing alright today. How are you? Here's a today is the end of another event cycle in P5X, so it's kind of fun that I have something to do on P5X today. I was spending my time looking up on consequences and behavioral trends in review bombing last evening. How are you? Doing alright, just a bit tired. Couldn't fall asleep until 5:30 a.m. How much sleep did you manage to get? Do you typically spend most of your time where you sleep? Woke up at 11:15. I see. Oh, less than 6. Under 6.
改善
Kaizen.
Kisetsu.
Setsu. Oh, this could help. It does not help. Oh, wait. It could help. Wait. No. Alright, so we have another group. I want to write Do though. Oh, okay. So this is definitely a group. I want to write like something like Do or To. And why is it To? Order and walking. Pretty sure it is.
仏教徒
Kyoto. So the other one is Shinto. Honestly, I don't remember the oh, the junior thing. Right. Right. Okay. That's you gotta go with the punches there.
個室
It's almost that time to find another show to fill my evening with. Which, by the way, in the Discord, under movies or shows, whenever I post, I typically post when I finish watching them. So, like, in shows, it's like by seasons, and then movies is just standalone movies. I've yet to find inspiration to dive in back to like separating possibly books or reading into something else. But it seems like movies and shows have been a consistent part of my life. I hadn't found compelling reason to split the games list either. Not yet. Time to watch the tragedy that is Shadowhunters.
地震
You see, yeah, thinking about it. The last tragedy I kind of watched because I was catching up is I think I mentioned this a little bit yesterday. I watched Wheels of Time season 3 only to find out when I was gonna post. How I do it is I just pick an aggregate database that stores things and I just slap it onto the Discord, and it's a reminder for myself that I either need to review or have seen it. And when I check the IMDb on Wheel of Time, it says usually IMDb has when the show's still running, it has a hyphen and it has a blank space, right? Instead, to my dismay, Wheel of Time was canceled after 3 seasons by Amazon. So now the question is, when the Ring of Power comes around for season 3, I'm already primed to thinking there's a chance Ring of Power also gets canceled at season 3. Feels bad. I did see a trailer earlier today that Disney is doing season 2 of Percy Jackson. It's a lot lighter and more kid friendly, but Wheel of Time and the Ring of Power, that type of stuff is a little bit more my wheelhouse. If you're looking for another cop type show, Blind Spot is also a thing. You think? Yeah, you mentioned Blind Spot. As well as all the other things that I haven't watched, like Law and Order, NCIS. There were a lot. I just don't remember. We might have to spin it up though. I might need to pick up a sci-fi or something like that. We don't double down. I had my fantasy, so I picked up on a fantasy one, and then we did the Korean, like the Squid Game. Maybe a straight up comedy. I don't know what I'm gonna pick up on that. Oh, which by the way, speaking of the Mentalist, right? The Bosch actor was also in it, and I'm pretty sure. Let me double check on Bosch. When Bosch was around, yes, the Bosch actor. That was his role before he got his lead role in Bosch. So, he was more of a criminal mastermind this time around. He was that long series ringleader, right? The harvest slave trade thing, ringleader, right? The whole model scam, situation. That was him. And in 2014, which is a year before the end of Mentalist, right? It's in that year. He then assumed the role of Bosch for the next 7 years. Bosch took his entire course. So that's one of the shows that I've seen before, from 2014 and 2021. The 7-year full cycle procedural episodic show. He plays a detective. Slightly rough detective. Haven is good. You don't know if it's available anywhere to watch though. I see. Yeah. I think I'm looking for a sci-fi now. Perusing. Here's what I'm thinking of watching. And it's there for you if you want. So there's a show, a dramedy called Resident Alien. It's quite well received. It's pretty well received, and now it's available on more networks. It's part of the Sci-Fi network, and it's one of those that haven't gotten canceled on Sci-Fi after 3 seasons. It did complete, so it had its 4-season cycle, right? 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1, so it reached its 4th season conclusion. So I was thinking of watching Resident Alien. It's a dramedy sci-fi show, and it's as it sounds. Which having issues again, but you mean Haven is cop show meets supernatural drama? I see. Yeah, Supernatural. I haven't watched a Supernatural thing in a while too. Now that I think about it, yeah. So the show Resident Alien is an alien, not an alien as in like a foreigner alien, but he is an actual alien. And that's the premise. So think of Superman without powers. I'm kidding. Yes. I haven't seen Resident Alien. Maybe I'll have to check it out after The Mentalist. Do you think you're on episode 15 of season 6 now? I see. I think I'm on episode 11 of season 7 or something. It's coming to a close. What you call it? Jane and Lisbon are lovebirds now, momentarily. Cho is sparking up new relations with Vega, and I keep forgetting his name, but the new boss's wife is now taking a position where they separate. Yeah, Lisbon recently rejected Pike. Let Peter, let Pedro Pascal move on to Narcos, basically. Yeah, they gave the people what they wanted. Everyone begged for Jane and Lisbon to get together. Yeah, it's one of the highest it's one of the like the top 5 episodes in the season apparently. I found it okay. You know what that reminded me of? Your casual Love Actually scene. Was it Love Actually? I'm pretty sure it's the movie Love Actually. Oh no, it might not be Love Actually. Yes, it is. There's a airplane scene in Love Actually, if I recall, where there are lots of, there are a lot of rom-coms that deal with being belligerent and climbing onto a plane and confessing your love. So they did it. Yeah, it was most definitely a fan service payout. Oh, there were a couple payouts, and oh man, I don't remember. Oh, my winner for the recent stack of episodes I watched was when Cho broke out his southern accent. They were trying to create a fake roadblock, a fake road check, and it was a payout because I think it was like 2 seasons ago or something, where Jane requested either Rigsby or Cho do an Irish impersonation, and Cho was like, no. And Rigsby is like, all right, you just stare at Cho, like, no. And then suddenly, it was a payout. It's not like he doesn't know, he just didn't want to do any impersonations. One day I feel like I want to do that, but I don't have an impersonation in my back pocket, so I can't do any form of accent impersonation. Maybe one day. One day it's like, hey, you guys never asked. You never asked. Uh-oh. I want to type no. Oh no, I don't remember this. Oh no, I have a blank on the right character because of Da. What is that supposed to be? Bamboo? Maybe like... Oh, I remember now.
Kaito.
Kaito. Yeah, I think overall, if they combined, if you like, I'm sure a fan has done this, a mentalist fan has done this, where they would write a separate viewing order of the show where it only deals with Red John. I think the show would be really well represented in that. But over time, because of lots of the episodic thing, it creates that kind of weakness in it, that it's not necessarily a weakness but more like a circumstance, like a consequence of their choice. Where the show's strength is where it's weak, right? Like that's just something you have to expect. So it's not necessarily a disappointment, it's more of an expectation, like an expectation. But overall, looking at people's like this aggregates scores of the shows, most of the episodes that dealt with Red John tends to be at the top. So that's what they were looking forward to, right? However, in a different world, in different light, you could have excommunicated all the episodic stuff and still have a robust show that runs for like 2 seasons. You can't remember what we talked about, but you find the episode where he hallucinated his daughter actually heartbreaking. Yeah, that was a standout show. That was definitely a standout one for me. The it also rings very true about actual hallucinations, like the use of recreational substances, right? Coping comes with a lot of that, and whether you literally see it or not, which is what was I like depictions of that. It's a very excellent way to demonstrate how trauma is presented when people cope with psychedelics and whatnot, opioids. And that was a very bittersweet thing. You have one or two of those episodes in long-running shows. House also had his, despite most of it being when he was on his deathbed, but when he was injured. But yeah, Sherlock had his. When your character, your MC, is heavily inebriated by or affected by something, their faculties, their internal faculties come to the rescue, right? House navigated his like a lucid dream. So did Sherlock, and so did Jane. All three of them navigated it like a lucid dream. Yes.
共犯者
共犯者
1個
Ikko. It was very bittersweet, and I feel like it captures what hallucinogens do for people who cope, right? It can provide somewhat of a temporary catharsis to the point where it can be addictive, right? It's so euphoric in the sense that you can even hallucinate the sources of your trauma, and it gives respite, right? So it has that really, really bittersweet nature. There are a couple movies over my lifetime and shows that the whole entire movie and show was dedicated to that type of subject matter. I think there was an anime. I think it's Anohana. It's that flower, and the whole title was like that flower we saw that day on the cliff or something, and it was about adolescents overcoming the loss, early grief. And as you probably can tell by the title and my context here, the whole show revolves around how they overcome the loss of an early grief, the loss of a loved one in adolescence, because it had something to do with that flower that they saw that day on the cliffside. It was a short, I think it was a short 12 or 13 episode anime, and they didn't use anything about hallucinogens or something. It was just metaphoric. So anime tends to do this spirited away metaphor where each and every place reminds the kids of a memory dealing with the recently deceased. You were also surprised he didn't try the drug again? Yeah, there was a bit of discipline in that. You don't know what made me think of this, but a show that gives me the same vibes as Shadowhunter is Being Human. That show was so cheesy. I loved it. I don't know which one is Being Human. Oh, I'm not familiar with this one. The closest thing I have for Being Human, I thought I had to double check because in case it's labeled something else. There is a show called Human. And this one requires, and I'm referring to the sci-fi show Human. I think it's called Human. Maybe not. Yeah, it's called Humans with an S. Humans. And was this canceled? I feel like this got canceled. Hold up. It ran for 3 seasons. Yep, this series was canceled. 3 seasons mean it got canceled. If it was 4 seasons, there's a chance it concluded. This was about Humans was it's a vampire werewolf ghost show. Well, Humans is about artificial intelligence. I think the show was ahead of its time, especially given the current nature of AI. But it was what network was it? Was it BBC? No, it was AMC. AMC was it, and it got canceled after 3 seasons. But it's about robotics, AI, artificial intelligence. I thought it was ahead of its time, but oh, that's so weird. I just started seeing random clips of that show on YouTube the last couple days. It's probably relevant now than it's ever been. So some of these shows, especially sci-fi, comes back in trends when they become relevant. Especially things like Blade Runner and whatnot. There is another show dealing with this same topic. But vampires, werewolves, I see. Ghost show, basically being human. I see where that. Oh, speaking of cheesy, have you seen What They Do in the Shadows? I like What They Do in the Shadows. I think I haven't seen the most recent episodes. I might watch that tonight. It's the longest running comedy that I think I watched for a while. Like on like occasionally I would watch reruns of What They Do in the Shadows. Oh yeah, I haven't seen the most recent season, but it's a straight up comedy. But it's about vampires, so that's what it reminded me of. It's a mockumentary. I haven't watched mockumentaries in a while. Is that the end? I'm not sure the show at an end yet, but it's Waititi. Haven't heard of it. Sounds intriguing. Waititi. It's like one of the darlings of Clement and Waititi. And it's the longest running New Zealand thing that I have seen. It's really funny. I think it's fantastic. It's a mockumentary on how I'm not sure if you watch like A Modern Family. A Modern Family is probably a more grounded version of that, but imagine A Modern Family with vampires. So those vampires like living in Brooklyn, or living in Long Island actually. Oh no, sorry, not Long Island, Staten Island. And what do vampires do? They're normal. I think it's a gag. I enjoy it quite a lot. So I occasionally just watch random episodes. There is a long going like relational stuff, but it's more like a sitcom, but a mockumentary. So the way the episodes flow, it's more like you can pick it up anywhere and it'll just be a little weird, but it's pretty fantastically entertaining. No investment required. It's just like how vampires can be goofy. It's like the opposite of Twilight. And what I mean by the opposite of Twilight is Twilight tries to be serious. What They Do in the Shadows, it's the opposite of serious. I think I might watch. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that tonight. What? Oh, whoops. I didn't even remember putting in the read for that. Did I miss the read? Huh. Okay.
布団
Whoops.
内容
Nayo.
性格
Eikaku. What is this? I merely thought sheet, but I don't remember what this is. Huh. Why am I thinking sheet immediately? And it's something like word character. Oh, it's not? Oh. Definitely not that. Have I seen the backlist? I have not yet. I think that was along the time of many other shows like it. That'll be another cycle around. I think I was watching Counterpart when the blacklist was a thing. Or it might have been Billions. I remember seeing advertisements for the blacklist. Gee. Hmm. I don't remember what you are. Oh, right. Art of speech. Because it's a somewhat interesting concept. You think they did try to do much with it, and the storyline became really muddled and confusing, but the first couple seasons were great. I see. Yeah, there are quite a lot of shows at the time for that contrast with the blacklist. Actually, there's just a lot of these shows in general though. What was this time? Yeah, lots of seasons. Just more of these shows. I have a very long list of slight spins on similar background things. Let's see. Okay, chaos. Or not chaos? Chaos. Or riot. Grimm is a massive favorite of mine. You can't remember you said you've seen it, but it's still a cop show though. No, I haven't seen Grimm, but yeah, you have mentioned it. It's still a cop show though. Still a cop show, supernatural. Mentalist is still supernatural technically, and I know you're talking about like paranormal stuff where it has, but Mentalist is not like Law and Order and NCIS. It's still dealing with the concept of someone having, like, Red John having someone that's untouchable is still like a thriller, right? It's still a thriller nature thing. I think the most grounded things probably not so much for me right now, and I probably won't be watching something that deals with detectives for some time. More thinking about existential stuff now. Looking for some existential related things. I don't know what's good or what's happening at the moment. Maybe something more on a shorter side as well. And not episodic. Probably something not episodic. You know, I watched this show way back called Vampire Diaries. I don't remember much of it at all. And I remember it spawned a spin-off series called Origins or Originals. Oh yeah, I think it's called Originals. When I think of supernaturals, I'm starting to think about these things. Way back, there was a series called Charm or something, and then they try to reboot it. It's about witches. Chaos, or is that chaos? Being stuck on chaos. Find it later.
論理
Lonely. Longbun. Yeah, I get what you mean. It's a cop show, but you could not mention it. You mentioned it, yeah. No, it was a show you finished rewatching before rewatching Mentalist. I see. Yeah, shows that I rewatch that are episodic are only watched episodically, and they're not like watched in series. And most of them deal with social commentary. Shows that I typically watch intersperse all the time, most of the time, is social commentary stuff. Cop shows and whatnot don't have any social commentary. They're typically very one-sided stuff. Social commentary stuff would be things like The Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, things that keep you, like, in a way it grounds the time, right? The Mentalist is out of space, out of time. It's one of those you have to take that outside politics and geopolitics and current events and stuff don't affect the world, the fictional world that they live in, outside of the immediate context. No social commentary. Or minimal social commentary.
水害 財布
Basically, what I'm saying is, after watching the 7 seasons of Mentalist, it's watching those shows makes one feel out of touch with reality a lot of times. So I'm looking for something that brings me back into reality. You could never really get into vampires for some reason. Same with Supernatural. Legacies is another cheesy but decent supernatural show. Yeah. There were a lot of those too. The only reason I watched Vampire's Diary is because my sister watched it, I think. I was just giving examples. Vampire Diaries was like 12 years ago, plus maybe 15 years ago. I don't actually remember how long ago. Yep, it's around 12 years ago. Yeah, it was way back. It was not the same person.
善悪
MAKU. Hmm.
忙しい
Let's see.
刺す
Let's see. The OA was interesting. I watched a little bit of the OA, maybe like 1 or 2 episodes, and then that was it. I think a sci-fi comedy, which sci-fi is supernatural adjacent. A sci-fi comedy that I pleasantly enjoyed quite a lot was the Orville. It was it's off my Family Guy comments because it's Seth MacFarlane's like side gig, and the Orville, it did a pivot. It was an interesting pivot. It started off as a comedy, straight up comedy, and then pivoted into a very wonderful modernized grounded take, social commentary Star Trek show. And that was interesting. It went from cheesy to the social commentary is very nice. I did not watch the conclusion of the Ozark, which is kind of adjacent, but it's more like the on the criminal side, right? But the Ozark, I believe the Ozark concluded, which I have not seen the conclusion of the Ozark. I think the supernatural stuff, speaking of supernatural, Stranger Things new season was teased. But the Dark was a good was an excellent foreign supernatural show. And so now your mission to get to watch all the cop shows and learn French. I see. Yeah, I think I have a more of a on and off thing with cop shows. I quite like watching other foreign cop shows more to mix it in, and cop shows are not always like that. I like watching cultural cop shows, so like Hong Kong cop shows are not that. It's not those things. And like Spanish cop shows are not those like that either. So they're kind of different. Korean cop shows are definitely not that. It's like take Red John and multiply it by 4 or something, and just the Red John stuff. Yeah, no, there's not a lot of right off the top of my head. There aren't a lot of comedy forward, like loose, not serious depictions, or like much more campier depictions of police work. Usually it's at the other end, far more dramatic. Not that I'm saying there's an absence of it, but
発殺
not from my experience.
理解する
I see. Okay.
Zokuzoku.
Zoku. Continue. How do I write that? Successive? Okay. And Grimm is not really focused on a cop aspect as much as it's focused on supernatural aspect, but I mean, I guess a lot of case ties into supernatural stuff, so I get what you mean. No, I'm not entirely sure we're on the same page on that. So supernatural is procedural. It's the cop aspect. The cop aspect is making it procedural. Like it's difficult to get into something like there's no proceduraling in the other aspects. And then supernatural shows don't have to be procedural. So Grimm is procedural. Supernatural is kind of procedural. And that's what I mean. It's a bit too procedural for what you're looking for coming off watching. Yeah, like we're not doing the whole cop procedural thing. Yeah. And there are other formats for that too. Like Law and Order is an example that doesn't necessarily have to do with that. The procedural shows are I don't use the word procedural, I just call them like pro entertainment, like primetime TV, the old formats of primetime TV. And that's usually more of a westernization, especially an Americanization, due to the whole like idea of television, primetime television. And there are those in other countries, and I watch those. They're on social commentary, but the procedural stuff doesn't necessarily have to have social commentary, and many supernatural stuff do not have social commentary. Oh, time to binge Shadow Hunters. Ignore everything except Magnus and Alec. All right. Good luck.
学歴
Enjoy. Oh, me? Probably not. I'm looking for something that brings me closer to yeah, probably not at the moment. I'm probably looking for something that brings me closer to the human condition. Like talking about like yeah, I'm definitely looking for something that deals with the future of humanity or something. Something a little bit larger in scale, beyond the individual. I think after watching 7 seasons of Mentalist, that is very traditionally character driven. Like it's already, I've had enough, or like what I mean is I think I had my fair share of following characters that have a constant air of self-importance, as opposed to like something worldly and big outreaching. I don't know what that is at the moment. Thinking about it.
帽子
Oh shit. A show that has like a scope of that is bigger than the person. And yeah, Resident Alien doesn't solve that. It's still an intimate take on probably a character driven. Although because the person's an alien, I guess there is a chance that the world will affect and pull the character here and there. So sometimes, how should I say this? The character is addressing a systemic problem, something that goes beyond someone's own infatuations and circumstances, right? A show that deals with the impotence of a larger order, maybe like a crisis, an overall crisis, or the diplomat kind of has that to some extent, so I found that quite refreshing. However, it's still very much centered around characters. Yeah. Thinking about it. Or I could just watch something foreign. Like, something foreign would be Shogun. Shogun's been on the list for some time now. I haven't watched Shogun. Yeah. Tonight though, I get to mess around on P5X, so I don't really need to watch anything. It's gonna last like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. Not too bad. And then we'll go back to Shadowhunters. We might like bounce between two different things. I haven't finished The Mentalist, so it's not like I'm gonna immediately dive into something. Still got 12-ish episodes. See how the show wraps up. And I'll keep you posted. Okay.
防ぐ
Dig it. Okay.
暑い
See. How's your Mario Karting going? Did you make time for your Mario Kart? Or have you started Donkey Kong yet? I'm only mentioning this because I'm playing Dave the Diver. P5X, this isn't a story update. I'm only gonna put up, so every week they switch seasonal things, and seasonal things are like 10 minutes long. Live service games switch seasonal things on a per week and per month basis. But the things that are covered or that I would stream are all story updates. So they're like the per month stuff. Although P5X has a accelerated thing, so it's every 2 weeks. So it's next week. I'll probably cover whatever was updated. It's gonna be like a half week of this. So the next P5X thing is on the 4th. Yeah, the next P5X update, story update is on the 4th. So, but Dave the Diver is something that is planned for today. Yeah, no. P5X is something I'm doing in the evening. Live service games, I don't cover regular service stuff. I only cover story things. They're one-time deals. So I get to record it and then that's it. Not yet for DK, but you've made some progress on Mario Kart. Almost finished with the Grand Prix races. And I'm about halfway through the other race modes, then just have free roam. Huh. I imagine they're planning on updates and whatnot. How's updates distributed for Mario Kart? Like, how does that work? Do you buy packs still? Like the previous Mario Kart entry? Tail.
お
Oh, okay. Oh no. Hang on, I need to get this. How does that work? Drunkard? Tongue. Look. Oh, you haven't really heard anything related to adding new content. They're mostly just focused on bug fixes at the moment. I see. That is a drunkard, right? Drunkard. I don't remember what the left side is supposed to be. That's simple. Simple drunkard. It'd be like
乱戦
Dansen. Okay. Dansen. What is that? Okay, so we solved one thing. One group of stuff that I moved.
祭祀
I see. Take along. Why do I not remember? I remember the coon, but I didn't remember the own. Oh,
連続
Rensoku. Take along, continue. It's just continuation? Okay. I see Google.
経路
Ero. Did you change? Yes, I mean, but I should know this.
夢
Know this quicker.
臭い
Say.
裕福
If good.
連日
Renjitsu. How does this work? Oh, yes.
余る
Amaru.
生徒
Seto. What? Seto. Life? Life young. All the aspects of being young. I do that. I definitely do that in English. Whenever I pivot when it comes to like reading someone's English or diction, if if I have like indicators that the person really likes to be different, or they're emotional about being viewed as young, I would use the word student instead. And that's kind of funny that learning Japanese and Chinese reminds me of why I do that. It's kind of one of those turn of phrases. Like, oh, do are you currently in education? And it's not because you're biologically young. To be a student is to remain intellectually young. So, sometimes people don't like being called young because it's associated with being naive. But where there's naivety, there's also innocence. And where there's also innocence, there's also curiosity. So, occasionally I would ask if someone is a student, but generally speaking, that's reserved for very particularly intellectually present people. And that often just means some people are fine with student because they're actually in school. There is also that situation where when someone uses a student, it's to create hierarchy, and that creates an interesting those are some interesting discussions where someone openly calls another person a student by inference that they have more knowledge than the other person. And when that happens between strangers, I often wonder. I tend to try to probe and prog and poke. What is it that makes them think that I know less? That's happened a couple of times, where someone like took on ownership of informing someone things as their student, and I'm like, okay, strangers don't have to, they're not required to know the same information. So when you offer genuine new information, it doesn't make one automatically your student. That's one of those like interesting situations, interacting with someone else from a different culture. Yes, most of those interactions were not the same culture. They were intercultural exchange. I say student instead of young because in specific cases for that reason. And in this case, anything that deals with youth or the connotation of being young is also attributed to being a student, someone who is in learning, in education. So like to be the alternative word I would say is a little bit more neutral to hierarchical ageism, I suppose, is saying a learner, right? A learner versus a teacher. A learner is less aged. So when someone says they're a learner, often it could be comfortable because it doesn't imply that they're either young or old. In Japanese, at least in my opinion, Japanese and Chinese, it is implied that you are young when you are a student, right? But I consider myself then, another euphemism in English would be a scholar. you could refer to yourself as a scholar. To me, when I hear a scholar, it still is someone very youthful in mind. I think those who are much aged and possibly wise are those who might not necessarily also seek new knowledge anymore. They are more than content in their ways, right? I'm not focusing on the bad side of things or the negative side of things where a lot of people typically view it, right? The half glass empty whenever they don't want something, which is an obvious tale in their diction, and then the obvious positive spin with the flip double standard for the things they desire. Kind of a Jane approach of things. Jane does this quite a lot. It's implied in the show, where when you listen to the dialogue that's clearly written for the people that he's analyzing or profiling and trying to see what they do next, it deals a lot with how disproportionate and one way most of the characters are. And that's not that far from interacting with in IRL with people, or especially when they spend a lot of time on the internet. It's very it's very polarized commentary with double standards. I think those are the most characteristically it's not like it's a bad or good or lesser thing, but more so it's far more straightforward to navigate. Like when someone tells you only the good things about the things they like and only the bad things of the things they don't like. That's the internet in a nutshell. And then to navigate, to exchange information, is to take the contrarian approach oftentimes on the internet, which is to point out the things that aren't so great with the things they like, and then the things that are potentially useful for the things they dislike. So something like how someone says they love having universal healthcare, but they hate paying taxes. That's like a really real one, one that comes up if we're in a particular generational conversation, like the same generation conversation, or being upset, telling people how much they contribute to reducing global footprint while complaining about the lack of convenience of something. Usually convenience come at the cost of footprint. So that's one of those like, oh, I do so much for the community by thinking about, the environment, and yet they then spend time talking about how inconvenient things have become, but those conveniences come at a consumption of resources. Like convenience and footprints are at odds with each other most of the time. Right. It's rarely a win-win situation. With the gain of convenience is a consumption of resources. Interesting. Very interesting parallelisms whenever I watch shows regarding people who are mentalists, I suppose. Or fun portrayals of, obviously it's not usually that straightforward. I'm only highlighting what the show is very strong at. You have to know, one has to consider that shows like The Mentalist, Monk, and whatnot, they up the drama. It's a dramatization. So those characters are far more plot convenient than reality. So I was just highlighting how it constantly reminds me of interactions with people and how I interpret their intent. Jane is very bold. is the euphemism I would say. Jane, the character Jane, is very bold, considering his station in the show, the responsibilities and authorities and things that he takes liberties of would not condition a man, despite how their level of perception may be, to behave like that. But for the sake of entertainment, it suits very well for entertainment.
犯人
犯人
最後尾
最後尾
生まれる
生まれる I like watching movies and TV shows because they're larger than life. So don't like it's perfectly fine when it's whimsical. It kind of requires that type of suspension of disbelief in order to have that feeling of escapism. Right? Like, when was the last time you heard of a mad scientist behaving irrationally because their humans somehow overpower a lifetime of objectivity in order to create a catastrophic post-apocalyptic setting or a science fiction show that runs like 3 seasons and get canceled? I pick the mad scientist situation because I think to this date, if I were being pedantic and like a fun sucker of myself, you know, like ruining all the fun for myself, I would probably be pretty disappointed about most portrayals of scientists in a show. And you might be thinking, since you watch a lot of cop stuff, right? Like NCIs and stuff and forensics, not even close. Like, or it's fun to think that those things are so quick. Like the whole idea of one little fun thing. The Mentalist totally pulled the Hollywood Enhance situation when they were working for the FBI. Right now that they have resources, the whole idea of like tracking facial recognition and like taking an image and digitally enhancing it, but the enhancement is like a 10x optical image of the like that doesn't happen. It's purely for, although maybe it's getting closer, you know, nowadays with interpolation technology, you know, machine learning and all that. Possibly. Hey, can you punch that in? Can you enhance that? Just click over buttons like enhance. Good old classic. Or what was one? There was one where they collected the DNA from like a shelter and they were able to discern and identify 21 coupling different individual DNA samples from a shelter that seemed like it was baked and harsh weather and it's in the middle of Texas. Like, the chances of being able to resolve that with useful intel is, it doesn't turn over that quickly, and it's dramatic, very dramatic. I'm not sure if people would like watching a show where they don't take liberties with the technology. I'm not sure if I encountered a show of that nature. You might as well be watching a documentary, I suppose. I think we're going into the documentary situation. Take along. This is No. Alright, I need to. I'm not getting back into this. Sorry. Hold up. Out of time, out of space. I'm suddenly drawing a blank on something I already typed a bunch of times today. Oh no. Was it No?
連中
Okay, no, it's fine. It must have been a typo. Rentu is okay. I'm not sure how that's used still.
左手
Arite. That's a fine burn.
優しい
Sashi. That was a guru? Huh.
多忙
Apple. Okay. Okay. Okay.
自在
Izai. What? No. Self-existence is... I thought I already have this. Wait, am I confusing two things? Oops, I keep hitting the wrong one. I think I might be writing full control for two things. And they kind of mean the same thing, but I don't... I hate this. I really dislike this wrap-up button being over here. I don't like that. I don't like wrap-up button being on the left. Personal preference.
根血
Onketsu. Or mixed blood.
血圧
Etsuatsu. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Uh,
乱れる
Midareru. That took a bit. It's pretty weak. Sorry, pretty weak.
有罪
Yuzai. Oops, I missed the L. You know what's interesting? I don't know if you're still here. One thing that Jane doesn't express out of frustration a lot of times is not being understood. I think that's one string until like near the very end, I suppose. But until the very end, a lot of times these shows do tackle the whole loneliness situation. When someone's incredibly high functioning and or traumatic, you know, trauma can feel very isolating. They didn't play that up too much, so I don't know if that's something I lean towards or not. I kind of like my melodrama, and maybe I'm also looking for something a bit melodramatic at this point. Monk certainly went down that rabbit hole a bit more than the Mentalist. It can be incredibly isolating both traumatically and intellectually, and those things linger. They did kind of do a on and off on those things a little bit.
関連
Kanren. Kanren. Wait. Kanren. Okay.
「連絡する」
Nennakusuru.
Yoshin.
Yoshin. What is that supposed to translate to? To be violent? To violent? To be violent? I guess. To be violent? Huh. That doesn't quite sound... Oh. Um...
暴れる
Abareru. I'm like, how do you be violent as a transitive?
混乱
Honran. Mix riot. How the riot? Mixed riot? I guess you could say disorder? Oh, disorder works.
犯罪
Banzai. Uh,
個人
Ozzy. Oops. Uh, why I'm missing the left? What is that supposed to be? A stack? Oh no. Oh, wait. Wait. Why do I want to do this? Oh no. No, I still want to do kon. Yeah, konju.
昆虫
I should have stuck with my gut feeling there.
理論
Liron.
無害
Mugai. Hmm. No. Wait. I'm messing up the right. Ooh, excuse me. Um. How am I messing up the right? Suddenly a blank on the right. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the right for whatever reason. It happens.
得る
It'll come back to me.
妻
Oops.
昆布
Kombu.
お尻
Oshiri. Oops. It's not. Oh, wait. That's fine.
頭部
Tobu. That was a coincidence that it was lined up.
3冊
Sunsets. Hmm.
減る
It. Uh,
容疑
Yogi. What? Suspicion? Okay. Charge.
機械
Kikai. Kikai. I don't quite remember how this works. Ah. Hmm. Dang it. Pretty sure that's okay. What? Or maybe the left side is incorrect. No? The left side is definitely correct. Yes. Oh, this is subtraction, right? Decrease method. Something is a little bit off of my recollection for... Oh! Did I get the... I might have gotten the Rendaku incorrect.
Genpo.
Genpo. I didn't Rendaku properly. Hmm.
暴走。
Also.
圧力。
圧力。
いい加減。
いい加減。All of these are somewhat synonyms, but they have a very specific, pointless, unfounded, careless, but useless, worthless. They're all very, very serviceable.
一冊
Successful.
避難
Inan. 避難 It's just like extremely difficult, unusually difficult. Injustice. Oh, right. We wrote something for it. Criticism. Right. Uh, Oops.
続く、
続く。Ah, how am I drawing a blank? Ah, I'm drawing a blank on exist. Uncharacteristic block on exist.
"在留、
在留。
余計、
余計。
存在、
存在。
暴力、
暴力。ね。Is it just violence? I was thinking force. Yeah, I was thinking force. Okay, that's fine. Hmm. Dang it. I really thought, okay. I thought I had this. Oh, it's not the first part. It's just the... What? Senrai Okis? What? Okay. Oh, okay.
犯す、
Okasu.
得意、
Wait. 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 Hold. What? Oh, I thought this was convince or persuasion. But... Okay. Okay, what happens when you acquire an idea? This has been such a problem. Hold up. Maybe I should write... Yeah, I'm gonna write something. Have I not write something? I'm not sure if I've written something for this. 一番得意な料理は何ですか? The best something food is... What is the best... What is the number one food, or what is the best something, best this thing food? Wait. No, let's move this for now.
Muzukashi.
Muzukashi. Indeed.
被害。
被害。Well, that YOLO didn't help out. Whoops. Wait, what time is it? I thought I wasn't gonna reach 5 o'clock, but I ended up reaching 5 o'clock. Was it 6 or 5? Was the new set of reviews? Muchu. I think I have this now, right? Dang it, it got lost again. Wait.
入団。
You done. You done. Form a group. An association's fine. Solve. Solve. Nope. Dang. What am I solving? Making sure I don't have a nosebleed. Solve. Can't pull it up. Oh. Oops.
Toku.
Had to fetch for the mnemonic. That one. Do I have one for this? It would have to do with a fool somehow. And a clock. Oh, wait. I did write something. Oh, no, wait. That's for something else, right? There's no way is it? Yeah. Isn't it something about a fool would not... Oh, no. A fool in cloth. Oh, yes. I did write something about this. A fool would not walk out in the hot sun at noon, right? Without a towel.
布。
Or a cloth, I suppose. But Towel cloth. It works better if I think of cloth, towel.
神道
Chinto. So we resolve some of these. Yeah.
乱暴
Gambo. Oops.
実在
Itsuzai. Okay, I misspelled existence, that's fine. Okay, what? Tokui. Send help. Tokui. Okay. I, I I swear I thought I wrote something for this. Tokui. Oh, Tokui is good at, right? Did I write something for this? No, I didn't. Okay, let's write something for this. Tokugawa. Tokugawa is skilled at Tokugawa is skilled at scouting, at sending messages with eagles. At sending ideas by using eagles. Okay. Okay. Although I should know Tokui. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Oh, that's fine. So then we have something for tomorrow. Because tomorrow we don't have anything. So this is the new pattern. Every 5 days, there isn't anything. Because it's a leap day for our level up. So if we leave something over, there's something for tomorrow. These are all oldish stuff. So it'll be interesting what they are. Okay. I haven't ever skipped a day. I wonder what it's like to skip a day. I'm going to be skipping 5 days soon because it's my yearly thing I have to do. So as we approach the next week, like on Tuesday of next week, on the 5th, I will be taking 5 days away. So we're gonna decide to place WaniKani. At first, I thought maybe I will try to do the lessons, but it's a 5-day period, so that means it goes through the entire cycle. It would be preposterous of me to be able to do that when I'm like out and about for over 12 hours and sleeping less than 3 or 4 hours for the volunteering and whatnot. So I thought ambitiously maybe I'll do WaniKani and Hanzuhiro across those volunteering times, but I think it's far safer for me to double down on the volunteering work. So next week, I'm taking 1 day to prepare to travel, and then I'll be away for 4 days volunteering at a convention, and that takes up all my time. We spend like 8 to 10 hours away, like the entire day, and then the rest of the time I'll be sleeping. So whenever I get to sleep, whenever I get to nap, I basically nap. I work, I distribute like badges and stuff, and then whenever I get an hour or 2 hour break, I go back to the hotel and I like nap for an hour, and then I go back. So I'm always refreshed. There's no way I'm going to be able to squeeze in WaniKani and Hanzuhiro on those days. So, it's not long now. I was going to talk about this a little closer. There are only like 3 days left. It's my one time a year do everything for the kiddos and the families, right? People having fun. I love being part of a bigger machine, a bigger system of people who just want to organize something, help people have fun, right? That's kind of what life is about. At least I think a part of life is about. So we're gonna put WaniKani and Hanzuhiro on vacation mode for those 5 days. It'll be the first time in this year, basically. I did the same last year. It's around the same time. It's around July and August. I wouldn't mind doing more than once a year. Maybe I'll consider traveling to a different convention in the future. I like working at conventions. Not so much consuming at conventions. I like making things happen. Alright, let's do our momos. Fly, Mona Lisa, blood, mole, righteousness, explosion. Our Riri's. Alright, we got a little loosey-goosey today and lost some of our stuff, our little mojo, so let's get it back a little. Alright. Starting by drawing a blank, because that's what I'm good at. Drawing a blank. Okay. Konsai ki ritsu i gai yo nan i you shin shiri shiri. Oh, actually, yes. Shiri. Wait. Hold up. Yes. Be kai kaku sa ken gen ko atsu zai. I lost zai a bit today. Mu san to sa atsu sai ki an zai bo ron ke. All right, a bit of a mixed bag today. But it's fine. You have sometimes it happens, especially really strong Chinese, like Hanzi, strong Hanzi, very high frequency Hanzi can do that. Like Zai is very strong. So is Meng. Meng is very strong. Chaos was interesting. Or no, Riot. Ran. I was a little shaky on Ran, which is not this level. I think it was the last level. Alright. That's a wrap for WaniKani today. If you're gonna watch this later, arigatou gozaimasu. As always, feel free to follow along, pick up WaniKani, try it out for yourself. And you're always free to stop on by, share what's happening, what's interesting to you. We could share some experiences, partake in new experiences together, right? Be it language learning, what have you. Well, I'll try to pigeonhole most things to what I'm doing, and maybe get someone excited, right? It's kind of like, hey, if you're interested in, say, cop shows, which Bree is very interested in, maybe I can pick up a Japanese or a Chinese cop show and then share that kind of thing, right? There's always wonderful creative ways to imbue shared experiences that is like a combination of the two, right? Emergence, generosity, open generosity when reciprocated with generosity creates magic, right? That's the emergence of interacting with human beings. So we are always free to, I'm always here, free for another yap session, right? Welcome at all times. So for the time being, if you're only interested in WaniKani in Japanese, minasan mata ne, ite kurete arigato, and thanks for watching. I'm gonna get up, walk around, stretch a little bit, and I'll be back for Hanse Hero. Thank you.